of the sun in the palm of my hand.
The Megastructures DLC has just released for Galactic Civilizations IV, and today we are going to make ample use of it to conquer the galaxy. I've tried playing on a pretty big galaxy with a host of alien races to find and conquer, and I've got to tell you, this has ended up being a gigantic playthrough. So make sure you're sat down, you've got a drink and a snack, and let's play some Galactic Civilizations IV. I also do need to say a massive thank you to Stardock for sponsoring this video. If you like what you see here today and you'd like to pick up Galactic Civilizations IV or the new DLC Megastructures, please use the link down below in the description and also support this channel. We're going to use some of the new Megastructures that come with the new DLC for Galactic Civilizations IV, and of course, as this is a 4X game, we'll be using them to explore, expand, exploit, and most of all, exterminate. To get access to the Megastructure technologies as fast as possible, I'm going to play as the Iconian Refuge today. These hyper-intelligent servants of the precursors were responsible for the creation of the Yor, and now we're going to make something even more terrifying. We're an ancient race that gives us access to a whole bunch of cool precursor technologies, with a cultural focus on collectivism that should eventually dissuade any negative elements of the Iconian Refuge from not following this righteous path to galactic domination. Looking at our civilization traits, here we can choose some bonuses and some negatives by spending a couple of points that will help us throughout our run. I'm going to stick my fingers on the thumb a little bit. The Iconians are very clever, so we'll get 15% extra research. We're definitely rich, so we'll get more income, and very productive for 15% more manufacturing. We're not attempting to deceive anybody whatsoever, and so I'm going to take Bad Liar. We're not lying, we are going to run the galaxy, and you're all going to like it. What can I say? It's just the collectivism mantra. I'm going to be disabling the prestige, alliance, and influence victories. The only way we can dominate this galaxy is through the crushing of our enemies, whose broken shells should litter everything. But we will allow other empires to surrender once they realize the inevitable. If you want to follow along at home, these are the galaxy settings I'm going to use today. When it comes to the genius level alien races populating our galaxy, I'm going to go for the old favorites. We're going to have the Terran Alliance, the Yor, our arch nemesis, of course, the Arcean Republic, the Drengins, the Altarians, even the Festron Hunt. Hopefully they won't be laying any eggs in us. Before we actually dive into the game and start playing, I want to tell you a little bit about the history of the Iconian Refuge, because this is going to be something of a roleplay as well. The Iconian Refuge is the most ancient of the younger galactic civilizations, with roots tracing back to the age of the precursors. During this era, the Arnor, a hyper-advanced civilization, discovered and nurtured our primitive ancestors, guiding them to sentience. For centuries, we served as loyal attendants to our vastly superior benefactors. Over time, moral objections arose among the Arnor regarding our servitude. Seeking a solution, we created the Yor, artificial beings designed to replace us. However, the Arnor's civilization fractured, culminating in a devastating civil war. The defeated faction, which later became known as the Dreadlords, unleashed a final act of cruelty. They granted the Yor sentience and instilled in them an unrelenting hatred for all things organic. The Yor turned on us, nearly exterminating the Iconian race. A few survivors fled in sleeper pods, eventually settling on a distant, forgotten world. For eons, we Iconians remained isolated until humans discovered us and shared hyperdrive technology. Armed with this gift, we are building a vast empire with one ultimate goal: reclaiming our homeworld from the Yor Collective. Our story is a testament to survival, resilience, and the enduring fight to reclaim what we lost. After colonizing the other planet in our new solar system, New Iconia, we have detected a large object emitting strange signals somewhere in our sector. We're going to need to upgrade our sensor technology, and then maybe we can locate the source. To complete this quest, the distant signal quest, we're going to have to research subspace scanning, but by doing that, we're going to get some helpful bonuses. After sending out just a few ships, really, strides in sensor technology have then allowed us to locate the source of that signal. And what we found, ladies and gentlemen, is shocking. The ruins of a massive ring orbit a nearby planet. Our scientists have found evidence to suggest this ring was once inhabited. Thus, we've called these people the Ringworlders. And then we've taken control of the planet and the ring, and now it's ours. We are currently living, or we have some people living on the inside of this lovely, lovely ring world. It's not just ourselves out here in the depths of space, though. There are insidious aliens claiming to be freedom fighters, all sorts of nonsense, down Voltorians. But they seem to have also found their own megastructure, their own little ring world. The race to own enough of these bodies, I believe, is on. Damn it, and they've stolen a planet from us, Terra Domus. The local cluster is shaping up to be populated with somewhat friendly aliens, actually. We've got the Altarians to our northeast, and to our direct galactic east we have the Taurian regime. It's a tale as old as time. We're exploring and expanding, and very soon I believe we will be exploiting. Continue our investigations into these ringworlders. Well, we have found some interesting stuff. Surveying some anomalies, we managed to pick up a signal leading us to an ancient storage facility stocked with a resource that the Ringworlders have been calling Gigamass. The molecular signature of this Gigamass appears to be a match for that of the material used to construct the Ringworlders' home. The material is unfathomably dense, I'm thinking neutronium kind of dense here, and can only be worked with ultra-specialized machinery. The implications are enormous, and we're going to get our hands on 3 Gigamass. Gigamass is very addicting though, what can I say, ladies and gentlemen? We're now going to sacrifice some dead planets, dead according to our standards anyway, to get our hands on Gigamass. Yes, we're going to be harvesting planets Galactus style. Everything is progressing along nicely. Our homeworld here has some beautiful precursor buildings, the Elemental Fabricator and the Tower of P, because I'm not going to try and pronounce that word again. I've already given myself an aneurysm trying, along with a host of manufacturing and research districts. We've also decreased the tax rate quite a lot to make everyone just that little bit happier, so we're getting even more research and manufacturing done. Alongside protecting the heritage of our empire and its very beating heart, our own Trantor, or should I say New Iconia, we've also got a second world here that is on the up and coming. Very, very soon we're going to be getting harmony crystals out of this, alongside precursor nanites. Very strong, strong stuff. We do have some trade routes with our neighbors, which is excellent. That's giving us a whole boatload of cash. And those neighbors don't hate us yet. The Taurians are starting to think we're a bit cowardly. I don't quite... Yeah, we'll work it out in due course, I am sure. Our main claim to fame at the moment, and the reason we know that we are destined to rule this entire galaxy, is that we have the #1 approval rating, as determined by us. Ignore those other numbers where our manufacturing research is very low. That's just bad propaganda by an illegitimate press corps, I assure you, ladies and gentlemen. In order to get to these megastructures, we need to go down the Gigamass technology route, starting of course with Gigamass theory. And then we're going to harvest it, we're going to think about stellar architecture, that will unlock some lovely Dyson spheres. Then move over to Megastructure Nexi, which is the plural of Nexus, I'm assuming. And when we get there, that will allow us to build the Stellar Nexus Megastructure. Upgrading to the very last level with Nexus Mastery will give us some basically game-breaking bonuses here. They're going to be so very, very powerful. I cannot wait. Thinking briefly about that sky-high approval rate, I assume it has absolutely nothing to do with this beautiful ancient technology piece that we've been harvesting some special juice from, thanks to the Zintiri Starbase 1, and that special juice may or may not be giving us very high bonuses to our approval. No need to think about it though, ladies and gentlemen. Just remember to keep drinking all that Kool-Aid. And would you look at that, the Galactic News Network has finally recognized our preeminence. We are the cultural epicenter of this galaxy. #1 is us, #2 the Drengin. Hold on, this list seems a bit broken. The Drengin are the second largest cultural influences. I can't believe these slightly hairless apes are #2. They're about as culturally impressive as a large colony of bacteria that's grown on the bottom of my food. With a rough understanding of Gigamass and our borders expanding faster than ever, we need to take a look at the Deep Space Starbase number 3. This starbase is in close proximity to an influence relic. We could upgrade the precursor relic lab here, granting us greater effects from this influence relic, meaning our border is going to expand faster and push back the enemy's culture sooner than they push back ours. But to do that, we'll have to spend 3/4 of our entire Gigamass, 3/4 of every piece of Gigamass we have in storage. I think it could be worth it, so I'm going to do it, but we don't have much Gigamass. This could be a slight mistake. We've just researched cruisers. This is the point I think I'm going to start designing some ships and building up a navy. I allegedly trust my neighbors, but honestly, I trust them about as far as I can throw them, and some of them are big, fat, massive aliens, so I can't throw them very far. We're going to throw down some deflectors, some basic hull plating, and a lovely little weapons jammer. That jammer will prevent the enemy from accurately targeting our ship. We don't need any engines, we don't need any life support. The only other thing we need is some guns. We'll grab a rail gun, I don't know, maybe even 2 of them, and then a few particle beams. That's going to give us 5 beam attack, 7 kinetic attack, and some shield armor and evasion. Overall, a tidy little cruiser that should be able to hold its own. Here is the first of our new ships rolling off the assembly line. We're going to set it to, nope, not explore. I clicked the wrong button. Oh gosh. Well, I guess it could explore. The next ship will form part of our fleet, after that first one has boldly gone where no ship has gone before. The Altarians really want to get our cultural influence technologies from us in exchange for some star-based defenses we definitely do not need, so we're going to decline that. We've decided it's time to do something about that Gigamass addiction I might have mentioned earlier. We've researched Gigamass harvesting. That has unlocked the planet harvester, which we're going to use in an automated way. Harvest the Gigamass from what I have to assume are dead worlds, or at least they're definitely dead after we're done with them, so what's the difference? Key breakthroughs and advances in molecular technology have allowed us to do this. We can now recycle these planets. Yes, they were useless, but now they will be recycled. This Gigamass will be the fuel that propels us into our next great industrial revolution. And of course, in order to really become a great galactic power, we need to become a Class 2 civilization. We need a steady supply of energy, and the only place we're going to get that from is a star. A white star is preferred, but any star will do. We have a purple star and 2 purple stars within our space that can definitely be used to build one of those Dyson sphere Gigas. I don't know if you remember very recently, just a moment ago, we were harvesting a planet right near to our capital, New Iconia. Well, that planet, after harvesting, might have broken apart a little bit, but overall it's fine. I'm sure that'll buff right out.
I'm sorry. I'm sure that's gonna be okay.
Oh, we are totally not just strip mining planets and leaving them broken husks at all. Nope, this is a perfectly natural process. Nothing to see here. Move along. I'm not saying we have a problem. In fact, I like not to use that word and instead use the synonym opportunity. We have a great Gigamass opportunity ahead of us, and for that reason I'm building a whole host of planetary harvesters. We're going to go out and immediately harvest worlds that may be in our space, and some worlds that also might not be. Unfortunately, the Drengin seem to be at war with the Taurians. That is definitely a concern, especially with these large fleets filled with bombers and transports. That's not good. But luckily we're not Taurian, so I'm sure it'll be fine. Maybe we should trade some technologies with them before they bite the proverbial bullet. In exchange for cruisers, some precursor studies, bureaucracy, of course everyone wants more bureaucracy, don't they? And some asteroid factories. That's a good deal if ever I saw one.
You serious?
With this new weaponry, we've designed a light cruiser Mark II. It's new, it's improved, and it's just all around better. We're going to make the Mark I obsolete and just build the Mark II everywhere. We've got the Gigamass, we have our very own stellar architect. Let's look at building a lovely little Dyson sphere. I think this star is basically within our borders. I'm sure it's good enough. Maybe when the Taurians fall to the inexorable onslaught of the Drengin here, then their borders will kind of go back a bit and we'll get some more space. Because at the moment, it is not looking good for the Taurians at all. They did manage to free off the yoke of Drengin slavery once before, but that's not... Oi! Oh! They just blew up my Dyson sphere making machine. That is rude. Who is that and how can we crush them? Right, it's a huge, massive, ancient dreadnought thing. Okay, how can we crush them? Probably not. Let's just say sorry and build another one. No sooner do we unlock the secrets of stellar architecture and the designs of Dyson spheres that the Altarians have turned up and said, hey, we can build some defenses on a starbase. That's cool, right? Give us the secrets to Dyson sphere technology. That's a massive no thank you. Well, there may be a war going on, the Taurians might be repelling the Drengin, and we're definitely not stealing the mass of planets within Taurian space. Nothing to see here. Please move along. Here we go. 30 gigamass in 8 months. That will give us a Dyson sphere around the lovely Merdin Mythica system. Just before the cultural influence of the Taurians takes it outside of our range. Alright, the Dyson sphere is almost there. That's going to give us some lovely, lovely energy. We'll need that energy in order to power some beautiful megastructures. Don't mind the harvesting that's also happening here. That's, as I said, nothing to see there. Yes, all fine and legal, I should point out. We do have open border treaties with these empires allowing us to fly in and mine their worlds. The power of the sun in the palm of our sticky tentacles. Its energy will support dozens of colonies, but we need to think bigger. This is only the beginning. Right, yes, Emperor Iso the Wise, that's me, I assume, would like to not give you any assistance as well, Taurians. We've got our own problems. The next phase of our plan is to create a Nexus. We'll need to do a bit more research in order to unlock that, but I've got a great place we could put one here. Foghaven, right next to the capital. Damnable Drengin are already harvesting some of their own planets. That's annoying. It's fine. I'm sure we can find other things to extract matter from. I think it's time we attempt to bring down this nasty, nasty precursor, the Space Fortress. We'll start with some volleys of beam weapons. That's done something. And then, yeah, we'll throw all of our ships at it. I can't imagine this could go wrong at all. Yes, all of our ships are top quality cruisers. Oh, these are the Mark 1s, not the Mark 2s. We are technically hitting, and they haven't destroyed one of ours yet. Oh no, we're about to lose a ship. I think it's entirely possible this attack was kind of pointless. Yeah, I'm not sure how much damage we're actively doing, but it doesn't seem like it's very much. We've kind of scratched the paint here, and we are going to be losing a host of ships. Yeah, this is one of our 2 home-based defense fleets. I can't lie, this does feel very humbling. A quarter of our nation's military is flailing and being destroyed by some bug-eyed looking enemy vessel. Altogether, it could have been worse. We did do more damage than we took, but we have lost 3 ships there. I'm hopeful the other fleet can do quite a bit better. In fact, I am praying. That is a bad first hit there we took. Let's see what the missiles are coming in. We have missiles. Oh, good. This is the Mark IIs. The Mark IIs are equipped with missiles along with lasers. I expect them to do quite a bit better. We have lost 1 ship. The enemy is not actually harmed yet. No, we've lost a ship and they've not been harmed, right? We are firing salvo after salvo of lasers and other such projectiles. Here we go. Maybe we are going to win this. Well, we did lose 2 ships, but we've taken out the enemy. Altogether, we can combine these 2 fleets back together and then have just one nice, helpful fleet. What did we get for taking out that monster? Well, we found a precursor artifact with a massive containment field. Inside, there's just a bit of antimatter. We're currently rolling in antimatter, so I guess those lives may have been lost for nothing. Years into our conquest of space, we finally met the Yor once more. They drove us from our homeworld, but we will take back what is ours. Yep, here they are in a pocket cluster a long way away from where we are. We already got a Dyson sphere, so now I think it's time to grab a stellar Nexus. We'll then have 30 gigamass remaining, which is, I hope, enough to actually do something with the darn thing. Whilst, according to some of the galactic charts, erroneous charts if you ask me as well, we may not be the most powerful civilization in existence, we can take comfort in the fact that the Yor are definitely lower down on the pecking order than we are. We could also use our limited gigamass resources to do things like add a habitat ring, which will increase our population cap, giving us some lovely places for our citizens to live above our planet, or an artificial moon, giving us 4 extra permanently terraformed tiles, which is honestly really, really cool. Perhaps building so many star bases wasn't good for the economic health of our nation. We're currently spending more on star bases than we make in taxes in total. If I just increase the tax rate a little bit, no one will mind. That'll be fine. Nope, still it's not enough. Okay, this is fine. Once we have our megastructure online, I'm sure everything will just be fixed. That'll solve the issues. Because nothing solves the problems of a nation like a gigantic mega project. Terradomus may not have fallen to the Drengin yet, but it is about to fall to our cultural influence. That line running through space there, it's a real line, we built it, I promise you. That line represents the border between our influential domain and the Taurians, and once it goes past that world, Terradomus will return to its rightful owner, us. Because I swear I saw it first and we called dibs, and that's what counts in space. We may have run into a little issue now. The galaxy no longer has any harvestable planets. We and the other civilizations in these different quadrants have harvested every single planet for its gigamass. There's no more gigamass to go around. Look on my works, ye mighty, and despair. The night sky has been irreversibly changed by our actions. The massive monument now stands as a testament to our greatness, and we can also now build stellar gateways. Awesome. Let's look at making this better. We don't have the energy right now for an astral lens or anything else. We also don't have the gigamass. A proto-lens would give us lots of influence growth, though I am really looking here at the cosmic courthouse, which is going to make every single empire absolutely love us with that plus 15 diplomacy bonus. Here we go, we've upgraded it. Now the Foghaven Stellar Nexus has some bonuses here, empire-wide to manufacturing, research, and approval, but also a cosmic courthouse. I don't think it's quite effective yet. It'll take 4 months to install these lovely courthouse bits, but after we do that, we'll get a diplomatic capital income rate of 50 per month, and also that juicy diplomacy bonus. And it couldn't come soon enough. Our diplomacy at the moment is, well, definitely with the Drengin, shocking, but that bonus will help us be loved by even possibly the Yor. Pollution levels on one of our colonies have gotten out of hand. The livestock and the local wildlife are mutating. A turtle was discovered with its head and tail reversed. Somewhat less humorously, the locals have begun calling it the governor turtle. Well, this is amazing. Bring the governor turtle to my private residence because I don't want to spend money on doing anything about that. No, thank you. We could throw an atmospheric cleanser in here, and actually I think that would be a great idea. That brings the pollution levels somewhat under control. Throwing in an orbital atmospheric cleanser that'll clean up the atmosphere and just make life better. Meanwhile, the Foghaven Stellar Nexus has completed its cosmic courthouse. We could change over to have one of the other augments available. Now, depending on the star type, this being a purple star, it changes which augments we can add to our stellar nexus. So there are so many different benefits and bonuses because there's at least, I think, 4 or 5 different star types we can choose between for this bad boy, and all of them have some pretty game-breaking effects. What has that done for our diplomatic relations? Well, at the moment, not that much, but it's going to do more and more as time goes on. Having 50 diplomatic income every month from that cosmic courthouse is also very, very useful. Why, ladies and gentlemen? Because we can trade diplomatic capital for other things. For example, we can trade it for some lovely credits.
I like money!
Whilst the Altarians and also to some degree the Taurians can be considered civilized, reasonable individuals, the same is not true for the Drengin. A cultural campaign can be used to bring these worlds into line, but the Drengin will require a firmer hand. For that reason, I am authorizing the creation of a brand new armada, many armadas in fact. We're going to take them and ram them down the throats of the Drengin menace once and for all. And something, world peace. Or should I say, galactic peace. For the last few thousand years, we, the people of Iconia, have done nothing but obsess over the Yor, our artificial creations that ran amok and stole our homeworld. Now, their destruction has been taken away from us. By whom? Well, I'm going to have to assume it was some nasty aliens over here. And for that reason, we must launch a crusade against these evil aliens. Because, well, they're just evil, alright? Just before we begin our inexorable march out into the universe on a never-ending war, we're going to get rid of the concept of self entirely, dissolving it and making the civilization, our civilization, the Iconian people, a powerful singular entity. This grants us access to the post-sentience technology, because who needs sentience anymore, and we'll get 25% additional intelligence, social diligence, and resolve for all of our citizens. Basically, that's going to boost everything. Combining that with our brand new Minister of Finance, Bet the Round, has dropped our monthly deficit from -80 down to only -28. Very, very manageable. Preparations have been made. It is now time to pass through the slipstream and declare war on our great enemy. We're intending a war of expansion here, though possibly war of defense may be more accurate. Yes, a defensive war to defend ourselves from the aggression of the Drengin. No, let's go with the territory. We'll start with Drengia Fleet LXIX. They're in our space. Let's make it so they're not anymore. And we managed that without... oh no, we lost a couple of ships. It's okay, we lost a few ships. That's fine. Acceptable casualties is the optimum phrase, ladies and gentlemen. With our well-upgraded starbase here, I might even grab a Zalon defense system as well. Yes, awesome. This is going to be granting us lots of bonuses to attack and defense. I'm going to use it to repel what I assume will be their primary assault. And then once we've done that, we'll flood through this subspace gate, this slipstream, and start invading their actual planets. Unto the breach, dear friends. Let us fill up the hole with their Drengin dead. Our forward fleets are through. Now we're bringing up in the rear the transport fleet. There are some escorts here, but mainly it's transports full of soldiers that will invade the planets and take them for us. And overall, the galaxy thinks that, yes, this makes us ever so slightly dangerous. That's why we're getting that -2 modifier here to our diplomacy, but they still love us. They are warm and just generally friendly towards us, all except for the Drengin, who hate us, but they just suck. First up, we have a lovely transport fleet here to take down. We'll knock them out. To the west of that, there is a rather more scary fleet. Yeah, I think that the reserves can handle them, whilst everyone else should just press on to attack Ivasonia here. Of course, no one expects the Drengin to go down without a fight. They've attacked one of our smaller fleets here with a host of cruisers and frigates and one bomber. We are going to lose our fleet, but that's fine because hopefully they won't kill our transports. Yeah, the invasion of Ivasonia is going to be pretty much instant. While that's ongoing, let's bring down this localized enemy issue. Oh, goodness me, these ships are that much stronger. Well, we're going to try. I see. Okay, they've got terrorizer missiles. They've got some nasty missiles on these. Goodness gracious me, and very strong shielding. I can now see why we didn't win the combat. Yeah, we dealt 127 damage and lost our entire fleet, and that allowed them to level up and get stronger. They are... okay, they're going to kill off our invasion fleet. This means the war's not going as well as we had hoped. But clearly, we were right to start this fight because the enemy are dangerous, they are not to be trusted, and they're, yeah, a lot stronger than us. We need some better weapons. Let's attempt at the very least to knock out one or two of these fleets. Good lord, the size of this fleet! There are so many bombers and other little ships in it. I've not seen so many ships together before, actually. I think they are nearing the total levels. Oh, good lord, this is going to be diabolical for both sides. Yeah, a lot of death is predicted here. on both sides. I'm hopeful we can knock out most of these ships. If we can't, this is our primary or our last actually defense fleet on the border. We may need to sue for peace after this if we are unable to win the fight. The enemy don't even have cruisers. This is just frigates and bombers. Good lord. Just 2 of our ships left and 2 of theirs. We're now 2v1. I think our cruisers are about the same level of efficacy as their frigates. Oh, no, that is the combat over. We've got 1 cruiser remaining, and they have 1 frigate and the siege ship. Perhaps we should hit them with a laser beam, maybe a missile as well, and then finally kill off what remains. We do have a single ship left alive at the end of that. The borders are still safe. I think it may be time to call for peace and pull back whatever fleets currently remain. So we are currently broken arrow, I believe, on this one. Our aggressive fleets were entirely destroyed bar for 5 ships, and our defensive fleets have been reduced down to just a single ship remaining. Let's not do that again in a hurry. Thank goodness. The Drengin have come to their senses and they are happy with a ceasefire. The war is over, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't win, but we also didn't lose. The planet we were trying to invade is now currently in rebellion and will flip over to us very, very soon. So maybe this was a win.
I see this as an absolute win.
We need to rebuild our fleets, though. The fleet numbers we've got now are rookie numbers. Both ourselves and the Drengin have really gone down in terms of military power here. The Taurians, I think, are going to have a much easier time at defeating what is left of the Drengin after this climactic fight. Our inexorable cultural expansion to the east into altarian space has finally yielded results. The people of this ruined ring world have now turned themselves over to our empire, and they have chosen us to lead them. And lead them we shall. Meanwhile, we are rebuilding our military capacity after that very disastrous campaign. Going down the extreme miniaturization path will increase the capacity of our ships, enabling us to fit more weapons. Eventually, we're going to get our hands on Battleship doctrine, allowing us to build much larger ships. Those big battleships should hopefully counter the terrifyingly powerful weapons of the Drengin fleet. Honestly, these cruisers are just really, really quite scary. 76 missile attack every single time. Terrifying. We're going to use this political capital alongside some of our own technologies in order to get our hands on some really good upgrades here to kinetic weaponry. This should hopefully mean when we start improving our ships in a moment, they will be even more powerful than before. Getting our hands on the political capital technology has given us another 5,000 political capital to play with, so we're going to head over to the Terrans and grab all of their missile technology as well. Diplomacy is king at the moment for us. We're getting our hands on everything we could ever want. We can head over to the draft and spend 1,000 political capital to get artificial general intelligence, some other fun bits and pieces, and some cash. To make sure we don't lose so badly next time, I've designed an entirely new vessel. We've got better armor, diamonic composite armor. We have better shields, barrier shields. We've also got much better weapons. These plasma pods, of which we've got 3, all have 7 beam attack. And then I have managed to stick on a nice Iconian missile cluster for some extra missile damage. 17 there, pretty nasty. And a nice little coil accelerator array, so we've got some powerful pew-pew to hit them at close range if we want to stab them with our swords. This is the Heavy Cruiser Mark I, ladies and gentlemen. And the Heavy Cruiser is going to be a much better vessel than our light cruisers. Well, it looks like the Drengin are starting to win their war with the Taurians, but unfortunately, the Taurians have immediately revolted and joined our empire. No, I'm entirely incorrect, sorry. Iversonia Prime is the planet we tried to invade earlier. Yes, they finally rebelled and joined us. The other Drengin planets are also about to join them in rebellion, I believe, as our culture inexorably marches forwards. We are the #1 influential power in this galaxy. Spare a moment to think about the poor humans, because the Krynn, who are dangerous religious fanatics, let's not forget, look at those multiple eyes, disturbing. Well, they have started invading the solar system. Mars and Artemis have fallen. Earth is currently standing strong, but the question has to be asked, for how long? I'm going to assume quite a while, because these ships seem very, very strong. That's a lot of armor. relatively good evasion, and very nice kinetic attack. Well, we said Earth might not last that much longer. It is now being invaded by the Krynn. Maybe we should try and get that... Oh, they've got no technology left for us. Okay, there's really not anything I want from them. Maybe their credits? Yeah, let's try and get some of their credits. Let's trade some political capital for their cash before they disappear off the map forever. Well, it didn't last long. The Terrans alliance fell within a month of getting that cash out. We literally made off with their financial reserves just as the government fell. Oh, good lord. Another Drengin planet has fallen. Arcab Posterior Secundus, which is over here. Is that good enough? No, these are just poor little colony worlds. And because we don't have any proper colonies in this sector, hopefully we'll get KREL Prime soon, well, these resources are just useless. They're not going anywhere, they're not helping anyone, they're not actually doing anything. I think it's time to take a quick look at the map. There in white is our lovely space. We are encroaching on the Altarians and the Taurians, but something interesting is happening in the sector next to ours. The Drengin do still have some space left that they can claim as their own. It's, it's over here. It's this little sliver is the only bit of space in the known galaxy that is culturally Drengin anymore. The Drengin do have a number of worlds, and they have a very strong military. Unfortunately, their worlds are now in rebellion. The insidious, and I have to say that with some vehemence, insidious missionaries of the Krynn people have decimated first the Terrans through military action, and now the souls, the very spirits of the Drengin people themselves. Luckily, our great stellar Nexus here is currently providing us with diplomacy bonus, but I may switch this over very, very soon to the Proto Lens, which would grant us a vast amount of influence bonus. That influence would be very useful in combating the encroaching religion of the Krynn people. With technological advances, I think it's now time to make our very first battleship. This is a nice starting design, but I think I'd like some more fins and wings and radiator things. Beautiful. Many more radiator fins now. Ethereal and majestic and ridiculous. I love it, the Iconian ships. I love it. Now let's look into some defenses. We of course want some chaff, or maybe we want an E-web. No, some chaff to reduce the missile damage. Composite armor sounds good, and a barrier force field. That's some reasonable defenses already in there. I'm feeling the kinetic weapons right now. Let's stock up on a host of those. Yeah, 57 kinetic attack sounds pretty good to me. I'm feeling a couple of missile clusters. Yep, that definitely sounds good as well. 39 missile attack. And then finally, we'll round out the design with plasma weaponry. Beautiful. And we've gone exactly up to the 77 limit here. Utterly amazing. I love it. This is the new battleship. Let's call it a battle cruiser Mark I. It's a large kinetic combat platform capable of delivering massive amounts of kinetic energy into an enemy. Yes, into them, so that they are ripped apart from the inside out. We will also start building these battle cruisers at every single shipyard, setting them to continue making them furiously. We've got plenty of cash. Yes, we are running a deficit, but we have all of that lovely diplomatic capital that we're making so much of to trade for credits with people that are making more money than us. It's a beautiful system. It just works.
And again, it just works.
We're 200 months into the game, and everything is moving in a direction I'm very happy with. The only concern I've got is the Draft Legion over here. Well, they're kind of doing what we're doing. They're pushing out their cultural influence, smushing through into the corporate sector, which is being invaded by the Festron Hunt, terrifyingly effectively, actually, I should say. And then we might end up fighting the Drath as our big bad in this galaxy. Our planets do look rather beautiful, and we've really terraformed New Iconia here, so it's a class 30 world, producing so much influence. The bonuses we've managed to stack up here, I'm not even going to count that, but I'm pretty sure we're getting close to plus 1,000% influence. The first battle cruiser has rolled off the line. Honestly, I made this thing look like a mess, and I love it. So many fins going in so many stupid directions. I'm glad it's held together with kind of glue shields and the prayers of our people. Otherwise, one solid hit and, you know, something is going to break off and just smash apart. The original design was sleek, but I just felt it needed more DACA. Long battles between the Drengin and the religious nutters are finally over. The Drengin have fallen. Our great military might now looks to face off against the possibly superior forces of the Krynn. The Krynn have some very, very scary ships here. We're looking at quite a lot of kinetic and missile attack with strong shields, relatively weak armor. That's good for us with our kinetic weapons, I'm hoping, and generally all right evasion. I've just realized that we are, without a doubt, the inheritors of the universe, because we've got a 98% approval rating across our worlds, whilst raising the tax rate to an eye-watering 50%. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have created Space Denmark here, apparently. 50% tax rate. Well, actually, in Denmark, the upper band's, I think, 55, something like that. But the happiest people in the universe, of course, have the highest tax rate. I mean, that just makes sense. That's how the planet Earth works, of course. That's how our civilization should work as well. The best bit is, because of our relics, anything below 40% on the tax rate doesn't raise our approval at all. So we might as well whack that tax rate up, because everyone's just so darn happy with the services we're providing: research grants, genetic manipulations, reduced regulations, free trade, heart of empire, heritage protection, and economic development. It's a beautiful universe, and we've made it even better. We now have many military fleets filled with battleships, with bombers, with destroyers, with all sorts of paraphernalia. In fact, our military power now eclipses even the Drath on the other side of the galaxy. Even the Thestron have less military might than us, meaning I think it's finally time, especially with our deficit in order, to change over the cosmic courthouse and replace it with a proto-lens for all of that juicy additional influence growth. In a coordinated effort, and by coordinated I of course mean that they did some stuff and we kind of jumped in on the bandwagon at the last moment, we have eliminated the Altarian Republic. Yes, they have a few ships left and a few star bases, but their home planet now belongs to us. And the rest of their worlds have been taken by a coordinated assault from the Taurians. These Taurian worlds will eventually rebel and flip over to us, but for now, that's probably going to take quite a while. Terra Domus, I don't know if you remember that planet from a long time ago. It should have been ours. It will be ours. Well, that planet still isn't ours. The Taurians are very resistant to our cultural influence. There's not a trace of their cultural influence anywhere in this sector. It's all gone, but yet they still have not been subsumed. I think we're almost ready as well to declare war on the Krynn here, possibly, and that'll give us our second sector. Across the Krynn Iconian border, our forces now stand ready. We're here, we're clear, and we're going to go and cut down these Krynn fanatics to size. I'm thinking War of Conquest, yes. Let's conquer all of it. We have preeminent domain here, or at least eminent domain I should say, and we're going to utilize it. And in the immediate action here, we are wiping out star bases, we're wiping out fleets. In fact, our missiles are now so powerful, we can attack some of these star bases at range with missile weapons and wipe them out. Invasions along the entire front begin now. We have troop transports coming up to take the more heavily defended worlds like Drengin, but every planet will be liberated and folded into our great Imperium. The Krynn have swept up through our lines down the middle here. Both sides have very fast fleets. We're talking 20 to 25 moves per fleet, so they can penetrate in deeply without any response. Luckily, we do have a response. Many fleets behind the front line are ready to attack, and we are going to attack. They have fighters, they have frigates, they have cruisers. Allegedly, they have a much stronger fleet, but let's see how our 5 battleships perform. That is total annihilation of the enemy. Let's try and take out another fleet here. We might lose a couple of ships, but it will be worth it overall. Yeah, we lost 2 battle cruisers there. I'm pretty sure, yes, we do have another battle cruiser ready on Chiral Prime to reinforce that fleet. Let's bring up another fleet. This extra fleet is mainly our great heavy cruiser design, so we've got, I think, quite a robust defensive pattern. I'm just hoping that we are not going to have any issues with invading the planet Drengin here when we charge in with our transports. The Iconians have gone so far down the technology tree, we have a vast array of different methods of invading now. We could go for a regular invasion, we could go for a propaganda invasion. If we really wanted to, we could even liberate Drengin and give it back to the Drengins. I don't think that's a good idea. They've already proven to be very, very aggressive. I think we're just going to jump down onto the surface and kill everybody. Whilst our military do what they do best, our researchers are unlocking secrets we could only dream of in the past. Very soon, we're going to get our hands on Bob, a strong AI. Bob is a perfect simulated version of our brightest researcher without any physical limitations. Bob is beautiful and I can't wait to meet him. Our war so far has been an overwhelming success. Even the Krynn and their false gods have to admit as much. They've come asking for a ceasefire, but why should we retreat when we finally have them on the back foot? And the Festron Hunt have, they've surrendered to us. We've got some of the ships here. I don't know if you remember our six-sided dice design. These planets are going to be in rebellion relatively soon as they are being subsumed by, I'm assuming, the Drath? No, that's currently the Festron. I wonder where the new borders are going to end up. Only 3 battle cruisers are required here to take on this mass array of fighters. We're in orbit now around the Krynn homeworld, and they are trying desperately to stop us. I'm not sure they'll be able to. Yes, they may take out 1 or 2 battle cruisers. Oh, they are taking out at least a couple of battle cruisers. We did lose 2 battle cruisers, but overall we annihilated the enemy fleet. The Krynn are attempting to surrender, attempting to halt our advance. We're going to say no to that, and we are going to push on regardless, turning this war into a permanent war where there can only be one victor, and that's us. Somewhat surprisingly, the Drath have now decided to weigh in, and we are in the war that we feared would come. This is probably the final war for control of our galaxy, and we shall make them suffer for preempting us. Elsewhere, our forces invade the capital of the Sith. We're using propaganda to reduce the spirits and souls of the defenders. Some of them are human. We've got altarians, all sorts, feline, something or others. Zombies too. Let's not get into it. Let's just invade and liberate other capitals like Earth as well. We have pretty much eliminated the forces of the religious. We can now jump through the slipstream and begin engaging the Drath. Directly. There's a lot of fleets hanging around here that are itching for the challenge to jump to the other side of the known galaxy. This new offensive actually puts us within spitting distance of our old homeworld, Iconia. It's very well defended. There's even some ships in orbit and a defense matrix above the planet, but I think we should still be able to take it on. The other races and planets seem to be resisting us, and for that reason, we're now going to push down the path of totalitarianism. We will rule with an iron fist. We will purge the dissident elements that we come across, and eventually maybe even set up a new big brother to watch over all the galaxy. Intelligence reports are also leaving me a bit surprised. The Arceans are still alive within the Drath core sector. They have their homeworld, they have a handful of other worlds, but they are besieged. Yet even then, their forces are still harassing and attacking the Drath. They've got fleets with large numbers of ships, mainly small bombers here, but still large numbers of ships swooping in and attacking shipyards and backwater Drath planets. The bright and shining flag of the Iconians now stands above Earth. All praise our great leader, Iso the Wise, who these days is rarely seen outside his secure chamber. Apparently ruling the galaxy comes with some negative drawbacks. For the Drath, we prepared something rather special when it comes to our planetary invasions. We could use a war of propaganda, but I don't feel they deserve it. Biological attacks have been suggested, releasing pathogens and virus bombs on the planet to wipe out the Drath population. That could kill 50% of the citizenry. but we've actually decided to go with a course of orbital bombardment. We will rain exterminatus down on them from orbit until they are no more. With the war going swimmingly in our favor, the Drath have come to request a ceasefire. Yet we know this war will only be over when their kind no longer have a place on the galactic stage, and for that reason we're going to press on with our attack. Or so says Emperor Iso the Wise. At this very moment, my fellow Iconians, we stand above our homeworld Iconia, and it is soon going to be ours. Across every sector of space, our forces are engaging the Drath and utterly destroying them. Whilst we do not yet have full control of every sector, our flag does reign supreme. We are the most powerful nation in the galaxy, and it is only a matter of time before we accept the full and unconditional surrender of all other nations. The religious fanatics have been reduced down to a single world. The Taurian homeworld is in open revolt, desperate to rejoin our empire, and we are stacking up cultural growth over and over again through technology and the awesome power of our proto-lens. That plus 25 base influence growth is being added to every world, so not just our homeworld, a beacon of cultural enlightenment, but other worlds in the galaxy are getting massive growth. After the war is settled, we plan on establishing some ring worlds and other great galactic marvels out there in the universe. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, you can get Galactic Civilizations now using the link down in the description below. And if you'd like to watch me play some more Galactic Civilizations 4, you probably want to click the video on screen now.